Hi, welcome to Hyperion Hype Club. My name is McKenna and I love the Kingdom Keepers books by Ridley Pearson. Join me as we discuss this series and others published by Disney-Hyperion Books. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Hyperion Hype Club. Today we are going over our second section of Disney in Shadows, which is the third Kingdom Keepers book, written by Ridley Pearson. So just some quick updates before we dive into this section, which is chapters 10 through 18. I finished Poor Unfortunate Soul, so you should see a review from me on that, like a short, no spoilers review. And I believe 2 weeks time is what I am aiming for. Yeah, because last week you guys should have gotten my review of The Beast Within. And now that I'm done with that, I just started rereading Catching Fire last night. And I have started a Goodreads just because I saw that had like the Goodreads wrapped, like the Spotify version of reading or whatever. And I kind of like that. Even though one of the YouTubers I follow, who's like a booktuber now, she's getting more into it. She read 81 books last year, which is like a lot. And she was only in the top 25% of readers last year. I don't know if they go by pages read or number of books read, because I know they do both. But I'm like only top 25%, not like the top 10% or something. Like that's a lot. That's a lot. So I was kind of a little intimidated by that. But also, like, if she is able to find more time in her life to read, she's also read really fast. I like to read slower so I can like better visualize and kind of stop and think sometimes. And yeah, so I like set like a 12 books for the year goal, even though I know I surpassed that last year, just so I could keep track of all that I read this year. With their like reading challenge thing, but I don't really have a goal for myself. I'm going to read when I have the time to and when I'm feeling like it, and I'm gonna read obviously what I want when I want. So yeah, and it's okay if you don't have a reading goal either. I'm just putting that out there. What else? Oh, also, not book related. I started watching The Golden Bachelor yesterday because I've been wanting to watch it for a while now. And this is like early mid-January when I'm recording this. And I've avoided spoilers. I can avoid spoilers with the best of them, like for Disney rides or books or movies and all that. And so I've avoided like learning who like I guess wins. I don't know. It was like the final rose, whatever gets engaged to the Golden Bachelor for the longest time. So I start playing the first episode, get like 10 minutes in or whatever. The first act comes on. What's it for? The Golden Wedding. It told me who freaking won. So I messaged Hulu. And I was like, you guys can't put an ad for a show that's going to spoil the show people are currently watching. Like maybe if when he like proposes to the woman who he proposes to at the end of this, if like that ad played after that, then yeah, sure. But also I'm not invested in who he chooses. Like she's been my least favorite for a while. Not my least favorite. But like I don't see it. I just don't see it between them. I don't know. If you want to talk, slide in my DMs. Let's just not put any spoilers in my comments, please. Please. Okay. Anyway, now on to chapters 10 through 18 of Disney in Shadow by Ridley Pearson. For the highlights reel, the mystery woman is Wanda, Wayne's daughter. We learn that Wayne is prescient, so it's kind of like Jess's ability. Wanda hands Amanda and Jess the Clue Cube and offers her support to the Kingdom Keepers In their crossed over forms, the OG five keepers invisibly headed from Magic Kingdom to Disney's Hollywood Studios. Night guards spot them, and the kids trick them into thinking their appearance at that hour is a tech glitch. Wanda shows up in DHS, convinces Finn that she's Wayne's daughter, though he doesn't necessarily trust her yet. She hands him the clue cube and presents him with the key to Soundstage B. The kids get Jess and Amanda's movements and voices recorded, expecting some glitches when the girls cross over, because they weren't able to do like the month of all that recording for them like they were for the original five keepers. We learned that Imagineers have adjusted the DHI servers so that they now shut down at midnight, limiting the amount of time the kids have to get stuff done, though that does let them get more sleep. I'm just saying. If the kids don't use the fob to return by that time, they will go into Sleeping Beauty syndrome, which we saw with Maybeck in the first book and Willa and Philby in the second book. Finn is finding it easier to switch into pure DHI and relatively more difficult to go back to his kind of 50-50 or some kind of different percentages of human DHI. Philby and Finn snuck into the Utilidor's computer room to look for temperature drops in Epcot, which they found, though right now they just know a code associated with the location, not the actual location. They've also found a way to change the default park for crossing over, and a way to scrub the midnight curfew for the DHI server. They also got Jess and Amanda's DHI stuff installed. Jess crossed over into Epcot and got the full Wayne image. And Philby opened a back door so he can control who can cross over and what park they cross over into. Now for some random comments. I think I just have like 3 or 4. And I just go more in depth with some of them than I sometimes do. At the beginning of the book, they say the DHIs are not in Disney's Animal Kingdom, but now Philby is saying that they are. So it's kind of odd when you get an inconsistency like that in the same book. And I think at the beginning they specifically say, not in DAC yet. Well, not in Animal Kingdom yet, or whatever. So yeah, I thought that was interesting, but now the story is they are in DAC. Finn mentioned the movie Click, and I just have to say that I hated that movie, and I do my best to not use the word hate lightly. Adam Sandler's character annoyed me so freaking much. Just acknowledge the past, maybe go to therapy, and strive for a life that's closer to your ideal instead of just like going back and trying to fix everything, but really just messing everything up worse. I feel like, I don't know, just learn, accept, move on, whatever. And when, for whatever reason, I think about movies I dislike, Click is the one that comes to mind the most. Like, ugh, I just don't like it. I don't think Finn really said he liked it in the book. So I've never really heard anyone say that, like they love that movie, it's their favorite movie. Maybe one time, and I was like, I don't trust your taste in movies after that. I don't know. Anyway, in last week's, or not last week, this one, but in the first section of this book, I didn't understand how Wayne could give Jess the secret message, but Amanda, because it sounded like he was like putting it into her mind, which I was like, what? But Amanda has said that he must have written it on the wall since Jess sees snapshots of the future. So this kind of makes more sense. And then for the cryptogram, we got the full one. I'm not going to say it. It's too many nonsensical letters here. I put it into an online cryptogram solver, and one of the first clues that popped up that kind of made the most sense was there are places where stars don't grow up. So when we first get that full line, we're mostly thinking Epcot, but I was like, I don't really see that happening at Epcot. I see it happening in Hollywood Studios with Great Movie Ride. Let me know what you guys think. And they did say later they were looking at studios too. Like that's where Finn and Phoebe were going to try to cross over, which I'm guessing we'll get in the next section. So yeah, my thought is the Great Movie Ride pops into my head first. And okay, I don't really know about the I mean, I'm guessing they figured it out correctly, but the 2736/2730 clue being a clue for October 14th, I understand how they got the date, but I also don't get how their minds automatically went to one must go before zero because it's a date. And I'm like, how did you jump to that? Like in a snap. But yeah, I was like, it makes sense now that you've explained it, but also it doesn't make sense how fast you got there. Yeah, one must go before zero, so it's a date. What? Whatever. Now on to random questions. The DHS night guards may not have been familiar with how the DHI host dressed, but if Charlene was in her usual nightgown, how would no one have noticed? Also, how is it book 3 and this is the first run-in with night guards? Is it because night guards in Magic Kingdom are just so like whatever, like there are characters and DHIs running around this park, or they don't even notice that's DHIs? But I'm thinking back to the book 1 Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin vehicles and thinking no, see, like night guard stop that from happening. Like how could? Well, I guess they couldn't see the pirates. Like Wayne wasn't able to see the pirates, so the DHI night guards aren't able to see the characters. You can't see the characters because Wayne couldn't even see the characters. So you can't see them unless you're crossed over, like one of the crossed over kids, or you're a character yourself. But yeah, how have they not had any run-ins with the night guards? Because the night guards in book 1 could have still seen the buzz cars. Because before then, I was like, maybe they're not making night guards a thing in this book or something. But now that the night guards are there, I'm like, okay, no one stopped random Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin vehicles from moving around. Like, what? Anyway, moving on. Has Disney noticed that Wayne hasn't been showing up for work? Did he perhaps put in for vacation time the day before his DAC capture after his prescient moment? Like, where he's like, oh, something is going to happen. And I'm thinking now, would he have known October 14th before he got captured? Because I feel like that might have been an after thing. I don't think they're going to address it though, so whatever. Okay, and then lastly, Amanda sent Finn a text using like text abbreviations, and that text ended with PBY. I can't find what that means. I don't remember that ever being a thing when I was younger. Does anyone know or have a guess? Like, please leave it down below because probably is my best guess, but I feel like an L would have been in the abbreviation, and it also doesn't make sense in this context. So yeah, just let me know. Okay, well, that was a short episode, but I'm definitely looking forward to the next section of this book. I have a feeling, I think my guess is right that they're going into the Great Movie Ride. Because I know we already had the Great Movie Ride. Was it book 2? When like the Fantasia brooms were chasing Finn and he like avoided them by going into the Great Movie Ride, and then he went into, yeah, it was book 2. It was toward the beginning. Yeah. So I think, I don't know, we could get it again. But yeah, definitely leave me your guesses for that down below. And that's all that I have for you guys this week. I will leave information for my Goodreads down below, like my link or whatever. And maybe friend me on there and I'll friend you back and we can see what each other's reading, because at this point we're obviously both into the Kingdom Keepers book, so maybe we are reading books that Maybe I'm reading books you'll enjoy, you're reading books I'll enjoy, and yeah. Anyway, I will see you guys next week for section 3, which will cover chapters 19 through 27. Bye! Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, and follow. Also, please chat with me and other members of this club in the comments of the YouTube video. My other social media information and a link to the Long Distance Sisters podcast I am also part of will be below. Back in a whack!